This video is sponsored by Closet. Stick around for some exciting news about a major giveaway. Hey everyone, it's Jack. I am currently dealing with the flu, and the only thing I can really do right now is talk about Drag Race. So let's bring back a video concept that everyone seemed to enjoy. Today, we're going to talk about 15 more blowout lip syncs. At this point, between all of the different countries of Drag Race, we've either passed or are about to pass 1,000 lip syncs. So of course, there's 15 and probably plenty more lip syncs that can be considered blowouts. I'm talking about the lip syncs where you only ever focus on one of the queens. There's no doubt that the other queen is going home because this performer just turned it out so much, and you often come back to the lip sync just to watch the performer's performance again. Make sure you like and subscribe, only about a third of you are, and let's hop in with number 15. Y'all like the transitions of the last video? I don't really have a good one for this. You know Shrek 2? For how bad Aja did in the challenge, I feel like she proved herself in so many other ways over the course of this episode and in Untucked. Her design look, her character, and her makeup, it wasn't the best this episode, but this is the time that we got You're Perfect, You're Beautiful, You Look Like Linda Evangelista, and we got the Holding Out for a Hero lip sync. It's a common belief that Kimura didn't really try in this lip sync, but even if she did, I still think Aja would have wiped the floor. But I think a really underrated part of her performances is the emotion that she brings, the faces that she brings. One of my absolute favorite performances from her is the glitchy performance she did back in New York, and a majority of that performance is just the faces that she brought. She's a true talent. She brings so much versatility, and when you pair it with a song like I Need a Hero, it just creates a truly golden performance. And there truly has never been a bad Aja lip sync. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to today's video sponsor, Closet. Closet is an online adult toy shop center that has a wide variety of products that fits just your needs. If you were to ask me if I've ever thought about any of the products that Closet provides, I would say, rule, never. But for real, of course I have. Who hasn't? One of Closet's goals is to eliminate the stigma around adult toys and their corresponding acts, especially when it comes to the LGBTQ+ experience. Closet is an LGBTQ+ run company, which is a really important factor for me whenever I'm a consumer. Now, while me and Closet are trying to eliminate the stigma, YouTube still has some restrictions, so I'm gonna have to get a little creative with my wording. There are incredible products on their site, ranging from beginner to expert. Products such as the Ultra Blow. It's an automated device that spins and dips up and down your main stage at 8 different motion patterns and rotating speeds. And it's also ribbed for maximum lip sync pleasure. Or the weighted prostate training kit. These are bulky toys graduating in size to maximize prep, stimulation, and enjoyment. And last but not least, there is the P Vibe Flicker, which is perfect for queens who land in the bottom. Much like a queen who whips their head around and bounces to the beat of the song, this toy has a head that carries a lot of motion mixed with thumping and vibrating patterns and speeds. You can either control it from the device or use a wireless remote control. You get to make your own lip sync with this one, we'll say. With all this being said, Closet and I are here to hook you up with an exciting giveaway. Every single person is going to walk away with something big or small that can be taken in a couple ways if they choose to enter this giveaway with their email. Anyone who signs up with their email will receive free toys or gift cards. If you're interested, click the link in the description, sign up, and see what you can receive. Coming out of the closet is something that we should all celebrate, and Closet is here to help with that. Thanks to Closet, now let's get back to the video. Coincidentally, the next queen I want to talk about also won a lip sync to Holding Out for a Hero. And honestly, I wish I could just see this queen lip sync one last time. Yeah, I'm sorry for that one. There's just something so mesmerizing and captivating about Roxy's stage presence that calls back to like an old school form of drag, but she always just puts a twist on it, especially when she's on TV, to make it entertaining for the viewer. Ms. Cracker here, I mean, she tries her darndest in every lip sync, but that 1-2 step that she's doing just can't match anything that Roxy does. If you want an example of the stage presence thing that I'm talking about, I feel like Cracker is taking up a lot of the stage, walking back and forth, but Roxy commands the middle and pulls attention to her with just one look. And the way she does her first outfit reveal is just so interesting, only to be topped by her second reveal. Thick and juicy, the body is so right. It sends the panel into hysterics, especially Baby Rexha, whose scream is now like welded to this part of One Last Time for me. Like, I can't think of the song without hearing her scream over Roxy's reveal. And I think what really seals the deal is the part where Miss Cracker is trying to do a funny moment where she's like over lip syncing the part of the song where Ariana's doing the run. And then it cuts to RuPaul smiling, but smiling at Roxy, not giving any attention to Miss Cracker. Like, that's just how you know how in love RuPaul is with Roxy and how much attention she just commands whenever she's on that stage. I'm so happy we had her back for All Stars 9, and it just feels so right that she is the person with the best lip sync track record. Staying in the same season of All Stars 5, it's so interesting because the lip sync assassins on the season were either giving it their all or not really giving it anything. But to be honest, the season started out with a bang. For the next couple lip syncs, I do think the opponents gave a really good effort, but I consider these lip syncs blowouts because the performer just brings something so unique to the table that you can't really get with any other queen. And I don't think you could get any more unique than Yvie Oddly, who was out for blood this episode. I truly think they got her on board and then told her, you need to sell this format for the viewers right away. And though India had like one or two good tricks in there, the constant flipping and reveals that Yvie did, I really wish I could go back and watch this episode for the first time. It was so glorious. Yvie had an outfit reveal, wig reveal, glasses reveal that she then threw at India. She had her signature Yvie Oddly tricks with her Yvie Oddly faces. It is just the signature lip sync for me. And it was the perfect start to a pretty boring season of television. But what Yvie set out to accomplish was definitely accomplished here. It sold us on the concept. And even if a lot of the lip syncs from All Stars 5 didn't really keep selling us, we were still riding that high up until Roxy's lip sync later in the season. And I think at this point, RuPaul was still very much on the high of Yvie Oddly too. This was only a little bit after her season, I want to say. I don't even know if they recorded 12 yet up to this point. And I feel like she could have done anything and had RuPaul laughing her ass off. This next lip sync only gets better with every repeated watch, even if they use the absolute worst version of the song for it. I think early on into the lip sync, Plasma definitely was holding her own, but the more tricks that Maya brought out, I think you could see Plasma starting to get a little more frazzled, like Plain says. And Maya brought out all of the tricks, doing backflips and gowns, having a rose petal reveal. This moment right here, which I could watch and repeat forever. At the same point where you can see Plasma starting to get in her head, I feel like you can see Maya getting into her element. She knows the job that she's there to do, and she does it super well. I think a lot of the tricks that she pulls out are just things that she finds fun to do. A lot of people, while season 16 was airing, were getting tired of how Maya was lip syncing. What she does is extremely impressive, and I feel like everyone agreed on that, but for some reason, the flips just didn't hit as hard for other people. But I mean, come on. She was doing flips in a gown. I think that's pretty insane. It could be like a Eureka high kick situation where it just doesn't fit the vibe of the song, but I enjoyed her doing it here. Now, if only we got the correct version of Bloody Mary for them to lip sync to, and this lip sync would probably be even higher on this list. But I don't know if Maya could do flips to that version of the song. I feel like she could find a way. I want to take you back with this next lip sync. Much like the flu medicine that is making me a little delirious, this next performer was definitely under the influence. Anytime they've used Black Velvet on Drag Race, it has been an absolute smash hit. And it all started with a drunk Jujubee on season 2. So for those who don't know the context, in Untucked, they're given an alcoholic drink, and they used to be much stronger, and they used to be given more drinks. That was until Juju got a little too drunk during this lip sync, and you can kinda tell. But when the song is Black Velvet, and you're trying to serve that sultry vibe, I think Juju did the perfect job with it. Where Sahara decided to go way more clean with her moves, busting out the ballet moves again, it just didn't fit the vibe nearly as much as what Juju was doing. This is a song and a lip sync where you're just supposed to let go. And while yes, the alcohol definitely helped Juju let go, I think she was also just able to give a great performance on her own. I wish we got to see more of the performance because this lip sync was not edited the best for the time. So much of it is taken up by confessionals, they jump around the song, Juju is teleporting around the stage. This would be up there with my request for unedited lip syncs just because I want to see Juju perform this all the way. But a close second is Nira versus Aurora on Canada Season 4, so I'm not complaining. And of course, rest in peace Sahara, you are missed so much. As we move on to the next one, it's one that I've talked about a lot, so I'm probably gonna make this one pretty brief, but I just have one thing to say. These bitches are turning it out, girl.
These bitches are turning it out, girl.
Like I said recently in another one of my videos, please go check that one out. This was completely Valentina's episode, and it was capped off with her Ariana Grande redemption to probably Ariana Grande's best song. I don't know, it's definitely like up there with pop perfection, and she was definitely serving pop star with this lip sync, especially her hair. I love this movement in it. Yes, I think it's a little overproduced that she just coincidentally got an Ariana Grande song on the one episode that she won for the season, but honestly it doesn't matter because the moment still hits. When you first watch this lip sync, I feel like you know she's probably gonna do pretty well, but there's still that thought in the back of the mind, like, is she gonna buckle under the pressure? So by the last chorus, when she starts to spin and then just kind of fully lets go, there's just something so powerful in that moment. You could tell how hard she's working and how hard she wants this redemption, and though it was crafted for her in a way, she still felt like she needed to earn it, and she definitely did earn it. There's a popular conspiracy theory that Monet threw this lip sync, but as I watch it back more and more, I don't think she did. She was giving a lot of her signature Monet moves, and her performance was definitely fine, but nothing was gonna top how hard Valentina was working. Sticking in the same realm of All Stars 4, I want to talk about a lip sync that Manila did. Ideally, I think this slot could also go to her lip sync against Delta, which I also do think is great, but I've never been a fan of Manila's cross-eyed thing. It always seems just a little too played up, but what's played to perfection is her character in How Will I Know. I can fully believe, just through how she performs this lip sync, that she's this dreamy-eyed, naive person who's really in love with this boy. Just the second that she hits the backstage and leans up against the wall, oh, it looks so good. She brings you into her world, and she makes it so fun. Another favorite moment of mine is when she throws her coat and then hits her hand on the ground. I really love the way that Manila lip syncs, and she could do basically any song. Well, almost any song. Like I said, I think Manila is a wonderful lip syncer. That doesn't change the fact that I have no idea why they brought her in for a Christina Aguilera song. Granted, regardless of who they brought in, I think the song was just made for Kylie, who's basically Christina's twin. You want to know the exact moment that Kylie won the lip sync? Right here. And after that, all bets were off. My favorite move that she does, of course, is the backflip into the splits. And this entire lip sync, she looks so hot. Like, I don't know if I want to be her or be with her or both, probably both. But anytime that we get to watch Kylie perform, it's truly a treat. She hasn't had a bad lip sync on the show. And she has the utmost trust in that top, which I was terrified was going to have a little slip or malfunction, especially when she was doing all of her flips. I think she definitely deserved more wins on All Stars 6, but the 1-2 punch of this lip sync and then Stupid Love, where she falls and then recovers, that definitely sold everyone enough on how much of a star and a great lip syncer Kylie is. And unfortunately, Manila just had to be the casualty in Kylie's amazing performance. If Kylie was the first one to bust out flips and back handsprings on Drag Race, let's talk about the first person to bust out a slow split. It's crazy that we could have lived in a world where Katya was second out, but she made it clear with this lip sync that that was definitely not gonna happen. The slow split in the point of the song is so majestic, and how she lip syncs the words on the way down is so mesmerizing. She really captured the vibe of the song super well, and especially after her performance where she was just in her head the entire time, she was able to get back out of her head for the lip sync. And side note, one of my favorite moments that Sasha Bell, aka Frisbee Jenkins, does is haphazardly try to put Katya's hat on and then just gotta give up and drop it on the ground. I know Katya likes to get on herself and say that she's not that good of a lip syncer, especially when they tried to bring her back as an assassin at some point, but this lip sync right here sells you on the fact that she knows how to perform super well. And every other lip sync that she's done on the show has been really great. I feel like there's not been a single time where she's gotten bested for the most part. Every single one of her losses is like a light loss. Like, I think she should have definitely won Cherry Bomb. So this lip sync being her only win, though I think it is a strange twist of fate, it's still great that she has this amazing performance under her belt. But while we're on the topic of a lot of lost lip syncs, I'm sorry, Jimbo. Originally, I was going to put versus Jimbo on this list because we know how not great of a lip syncer Jimbo is, but I didn't want to be too shady because I think some of the performances are still good, but maybe I'm still shady for even bringing it up. I just decided to go with the biggest blowout, and of course it is Jasmine Kennedy with Hallucinate. Jimbo's storyline on All Stars 8 was her being frustrated with how well she was doing in the competition, but how bad she was doing in the lip syncs. And by this lip sync, you could really see her trying and then immediately getting in her head when she kind of trips over herself, but still, she had a pretty good wig reveal, and I think she was trying to have fun with the song. But I think Jimbo partially sets herself so far back when she decides to wear the tallest shoes for every one of her lip syncs. Like, one of her best lip sync performances that I've seen is when she was in her flats and reveals to the Shirley Temple outfit. She can move decently well when she isn't in giant platforms or giant heels, but for most of the lip syncs of All Stars 8, she wore these giant shoes, and that just does her no service. But where you can see Jimbo really trying, you can kind of just see Jasmine effortlessly embody the song. She did some crazy splits, she busted out the duo moves, all in this gorgeous outfit, and you could just see how effortless it is when she does the backflip into the split, but she holds for a second. It's so playful, and she just kind of showed, oh yeah, I can do this whenever I want. Jasmine is one of my favorites, and her postseason evolution is so fun to follow. I really need her back on the show. Alright, well, I guess let's talk about number 5. This lip sync could be number 1. I feel like a lot of the rankings on this list, you could move around so many of the different picks. I just put it here because, you know, everyone's talked about this lip sync to death, and everyone knows it's so good. With one big reveal, Sasha Velour changed the game for so much of Drag Race going forward, and so much of drag going forward too. And she took out Shea Coulee, the frontrunner of the season, and one of her really good friends, in one of, if not the most memorable lip syncs ever on Drag Race. I feel like even if you have a passing knowledge of Drag Race, this is one of the images or moments that you've seen. And I think it's for good reason. It's shot so beautifully, the audience reaction is insane, and if you watch the full lip sync, you can see how Sasha builds to this moment where it all comes down to her wig. We know Sasha's signature is being a bald queen, and though we have seen her wear wigs before, we know how much of an intellectual Sasha is, so we know that there's a choice behind each time she wears one. And once it comes down to that wig and the reveal happens, yeah, there's no going back at this point. It's incredible, you know it's incredible, so we don't really have to talk about it any further. Let's bring it back to one of the earlier performers I talked about, Roxy Andrews, who, once again, like I said, has just the best stage presence. Roxy is definitely up there in their top 3, if not top 1 of the best lip syncers on the show, and I think all of the proof is within this lip sync. People have pointed out that this feels like a battle of old school versus new school style of lip syncing, and God bless Plastique, I think she can do really good in certain lip syncs with certain songs. It just doesn't feel like her style fits nearly as well as what Roxy does. We've all seen the moment of Roxy walking up the stage, filing her nails, and having a staring contest with RuPaul, and then perfectly timing the back off moment. She just embodies Diana Ross in this song, and I think her outfit really helps with it too. If she did end up winning the season, I think this would have been the defining moment, what really won her the crown. But even though she didn't win, I still think this moment serves as quintessential Roxy and quintessential drag in general. And it was one of the last moments of All Stars 9 that really went viral before people just kind of got bored of it. The top 3 lip syncs are ones that I was kicking myself for forgetting in the first video, so I'm glad I got to do a second one. Let's start with another contestant from All Stars 9, but on their original season. Just like with Jasmine Kennedy, if we're talking about effortless performers from season 14, Jorgeous is also on that list too. She fills every bit of her tiny frame with movement, whether it's punching the ghost, touching the ground, or doing a little kick. It's so fun to watch. And there's also added movement with the boa that she keeps on her shoulders for the entire performance. It just adds that little extra spice to every move. The way her mind works and the way she puts this choreo together on the spot is so interesting. Like this moment at the end where she goes oh, and then immediately hits a new move. There's not a moment in the song where she's standing still, but it's not like too much energy at all. Even when she's taking off her outfit and she has to have some concentration, she is still hitting moves. I can never get enough Jorgeous. I think she's hilarious. I think she's an incredible performer, and I want to see her back, honestly. This next performance, people were getting on me for it not being on the actual list, and yeah, I definitely do think it deserves to be. If Jorgeous won with a lot of deliberate movement, Latrice won with the deliberate choice to plant herself on that stage and emote. Coming off of a makeover challenge where they had to be pregnant, Kenya Michaels is out here doing ballet moves and splits in a pregnant outfit, while Latrice is singing to her unborn child about being a natural woman. I feel like you could tell who fit the vibe of the song a little better. And I believe Latrice is the first queen to ever win a lip sync without moving at all on the stage. She planted herself knowing that the emotion of the song and the way she's going to perform it was going to carry her, and it absolutely did. This is a top 3 moment for Latrice on any of her seasons. Success in a lip sync a lot of the time just comes down to knowing the vibe of the song from the jump. Latrice knew that, and for other people, they may have thought it was a risk to not move at all. But to Latrice, that was correct, and when you watch it back, yes, it was completely correct for her to do that. You could just tell that Latrice was going to win this lip sync, even without the judges' disapproval of what Kenya was doing. Just an evergreen performance. I'm so glad that I got to talk about it on this list, and it's up there with season 4's best, right next to Dita versus the Princess. And finally, the last blowout lip sync that I want to talk about, I'm forgetting now. Do you remember the lip sync that I talked about at the beginning of the last list in the intro of the video? Oh yeah! I think this is one of the funniest and best examples of what a blowout lip sync is, and I love Morphine so much. God bless Dawn for being the biggest casualty in any lip sync ever. Having a lip sync against a BBL in the song Body is not an easy feat, and unfortunately she couldn't overcome it. I didn't want to put it on the last list, kind of out of recency bias, but also just the fact that I used it to open the video, but I knew if I ever did a follow-up to that list, it would definitely be on this one, and the more I watch it, the more I just think it deserves number one. Not a single moment is wasted by Morphing, but she is constantly doing something different in this lip sync. Busting out the original choreography, she's doing splits, doing slow rolls, showing off her body. It's just a song that's meant for her, and oh my god, it is still so funny that this happened. Body, Into You, and Dirty, 3 songs that I talked about on this list, are up there with some of the perfect songs for their performers in the lip sync, but I think Body is definitely the perfect one, and Morphine did not waste it at all. I wonder if the showrunners picked the song for the week and then just started giggling to themselves. Like, could you imagine if someone else ended up in the bottom, like Q? That would have been iconic for different reasons. This is one of the best lip syncs ever. I can't wait to talk about it again. Morphing is one of my favorite performers ever, and I just think Body deserves to be number one. So that's the list. There's probably more lip syncs out there, but I'm gonna hold off for a while before I do another one of these lists. Maybe wait for 17 and All Stars 10 to come out. I'm not too sure yet. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. I just wanted to give one last shout out to Closet. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video. It's a really great site. It has some really great products. We were trying to eliminate the stigma. It's really great, honestly, all around. That giveaway is going on. It's really exciting. Everyone's a winner, and I hope you check it out. And I will see you soon with another video.